We are back with more stories that are going to affect millions of people in the upcoming days. And I want to start things off with what's going on in New Jersey and the tri-state area.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has declared a state of emergency. He is urging everyone to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary.
But these devastating storms seem to be spreading all over the U.S., and their intensity keeps rising. I mean, just look how fast the rivers are rising in Texas.
Oh my fucking God. Oh my God.
Now, there was a time not so long ago when we would have been shocked by the sheer number of these rare events. However, that's not the case anymore. There were over 25,000 lightning strikes in Florida in a single day. And I'm sure some of you will try to remind me that Florida is the lightning capital of the U.S. However, the average number of lightning strikes in the state is about 3,500. So it's safe to say this was an extremely rare situation. But things don't just stop here. What about all those insane-looking cloud formations? And surely some of you have seen that horrifying fire-nado in Utah.
Okay, go ahead. Task Force Leader Davis, 305, stay fire.
Now, all these events can happen, and they do happen, but what are the chances of them all taking place in less than 2 weeks? I already told you about those 1,000-year storms, and well, they are now saying 4 such storms have hit the U.S. in less than a week.
I don't think I've heard that sentence in all of my career of 15 years. 4 1 in 1,000 year rainfall events. That is crazy to have in 1 week.
And now I just read about this tropical storm that is likely going to hit New Orleans and Florida in the next few days. I sure hope these states are much better prepared to handle these upcoming storms, because I never again want to see the lack of emergency facilities like we saw in Texas.
You know, I haven't even looked at my phone from the National Weather Service now. I actually think I have my weather report stuff turned off, if I'm being honest.
There weren't alarms going off around here is beyond me. A lot of people in the area.
Now, what's happening in the U.S. is beyond words, but things aren't better in Europe either. According to the latest reports, 1,180 deaths have been caused by heat stroke in Spain in just 2 months. That number is already outrageous, but it's even crazier when you realize that last year, the death toll due to heat waves was 114 in the same couple of months. So basically, there was a 1,000% increase in the number of deaths, and we're supposed to believe that it's just normal. At this point, it's beyond obvious that something extremely strange is happening, and even though I told you the weather was going to be insane this year, even I can't believe what we're seeing every single day. Now, moving on, another story I want to share is about maha.
Today, I'm announcing that the FDA is approving Gardenia Blue as a natural food dye with natural ingredients.
I absolutely love the fact that we are cleaning up our food at a very rapid pace. However, I also hope that RFK Jr. would focus on some other things as well. For instance, what about our water? I know he's currently campaigning to stop the practice of putting fluoride in our water, but he's overlooking another problem which is just as concerning. I'm sure you know just how much bottled water Americans consume every single year, and yet no one is asking if that water is even good for us. Well, let me show you a video. That's a common sight in many small towns where water bottles sit in the sun for hours before they get to the refrigerators. According to a recent study, extremely toxic volatile organic compounds, including carcinogens, were discovered in bottled water that's been exposed to sunlight. Now, these volatile compounds wouldn't be dangerous in very small amounts, but when we're consuming so much bottled water every year, things add up. Unfortunately, these bottles don't come with any warning, and our people buy them thinking that bottled water is safer than tap water. So I would definitely hope that our health secretary will look into this, but since we're talking about water, let's talk about Diquat. I told you guys how Connecticut was getting ready to dump this very toxic chemical into their rivers and lakes.
This isn't just about Connecticut. What happens in one state can set a national precedent. If we stop it here in CT, we send a clear message to decision makers across the U.S. Americans refuse to tolerate this toxin in our waterways.
Well, apparently they haven't done so yet, but the EPA makes it clear that they have used this chemical in the past, and they will likely put it in our water supply again unless stopped. Now, everything I've read about Diquat tells me it's just as dangerous as Roundup because it hurts your gut and damages certain organs. And we all know how much RFK Jr. hates putting needless chemicals in our water supply. So I'm waiting for him to outlaw such dangerous chemicals that can make thousands of people sick in the not-so-distant future. Now, moving on, let's talk about the Epstein disaster that's devouring the current administration. By now, I'm sure you've seen the Truth Social post in which Donald Trump straight up admitted that there were documents and files about Epstein that have not been released. He, of course, said that those files were written by people like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Now, first of all, if President Trump has proof that Hillary or Obama tampered with those files, he absolutely needs to bring them both to justice. And while doing so, he will have both the conservative and the liberal voters in this country standing behind him. But clearly, he only made this statement to stop people from approaching this topic anymore, and it worked with people like Charlie Kirk.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
However, normal MAGA voters hated this post and expressed their frustration through thousands of angry comments. But this is not why I'm talking about Epstein again. I'm talking about him because we don't even need those videos. I'm sure they're extremely graphic, and to be honest, I don't even know if they'll be authentic because the last video they released was clearly edited. What I want are the flight logs that were part of the first investigation. I also want them to release the recording of the 911 call, which was made right after they found him dead in his cell because apparently it disappeared. And what about those documents that Alan Dershowitz saw as part of a separate civil lawsuit in which he claims to have seen the names of many people who were either falsely or truthfully accused? According to him, they're sealed, so why not just release them? Now, of Of course, people close to the president keep telling us not to lose hope. However, people like Anna Paulina Luna are already switching up the topic and trying to divert our attention by bringing up Kennedy. Can someone tell her that people just don't care about a 60-year-old assassination anymore? Of course, Democrats are using this to ruthlessly attack this administration.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. The American people deserve to know the truth. What, if anything, is the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hiding?
They won't say why they didn't release these files when Biden was the president, but they sure as hell are making full use of this opportunity to hurt President Trump. Folks, the simple fact is this. By not releasing the full truth, this administration is hurting its base, and that's just not how you make America great. Now, I want to end this video by talking about how they're keeping an eye on us by turning even the most mundane products into spying tools. They've been recording you. A U.S. judge just ruled that millions of Alexa users can team up in a class action lawsuit accusing Amazon of secretly recording private conversations and profiting off your voice. The lawsuit says Alexa was never just a smart speaker. It was a surveillance device that illegally and repetitiously intercepted billions of private conversations. Amazon denies it, of course, says Alexa only listens when you want it to. But here's the thing, this case is now going to court. And if the plaintiffs win, Amazon could be forced to delete years of audio recordings from their servers and pay out damages to every single user affected. That means everything you ever said near your Echo, the whispers, the fights, the late night Google searches, may have been stored, analyzed, and monetized without you ever knowing. This isn't just about voice data, it's about consent. It's about how long big tech has been listening and how far they're willing to go to own your digital shadow. Remember, they said Alexa was for convenience. Turns out it might have just been a wiretap with a friendly name. They're not just listening, they're reading your brain. Apple just filed patents for AirPods that can scan your brainwaves. Real EEG sensors embedded in the silicone tips designed to pick up electrical activity from your brain, muscles, even your eyes. It's called biosignal sensing. The electrodes scan for stress, focus, fatigue, and movement. Apple claims it stays on device, but the same chip that reads your brain can track your mood, detect your attention span, even log your sleep patterns in real time. And it gets deeper. Apple's own patent drawings show live brain data used to control augmented reality, facial expressions, even hands-free typing through jaw clenching. You thought it was just a headphone. It's a neural interface. No product's been released yet, but Apple's already filed the patents and designed the chips. Companies like Neurable already do this. It's not theory, it's coming. And it's wrapped in a clean white case with your name engraved. What's more valuable than your thoughts? Your thoughts when you don't even know they're being read. Stay private or stay watched. And that'll be it for today, folks. I hope you're safe if you're in any of the areas that have a flood warning. I want to know what you guys think about this ever worsening weather, so feel free to share your thoughts with everyone in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one.